Hello and good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 10. It is 10.
Is it?
10, I think so. Of
It is now.
season 3 of the Plastic Crack podcast. I had it all confident. I was confident it was 10, and then I just questioned it. Evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. As you can see, we are a man down again today. We haven't got rid of him. He's just moving in, and I think he's discovering that moving house isn't quite as straightforward as maybe he believes. So he hasn't got the gaming den and the man room set up within the first 18 hours.
He really thought that was going to happen, didn't he? He really did.
I did. I like the idea that he was going to be streaming, and that there would have been, and there was going to be like this, like just empty house behind him, but his desk and painting station would be set up. So
like Laura was going to let that happen. No.
I would have quite liked him to have got it set up, and then like the last thing we ever saw of Ken was Laura coming up behind him with like a golf club. I don't know why golf club. I don't know if he has a golf club. Anyway, welcome. So of course you have myself, Martin, Seventh Son. Above me you have Dom from Boots on the Table in the boot room. And you have Steve from On Point HQ in his room.
In my bedroom.
In his bedroom.
Because I live in a shoebox. It's the only free space I've got.
Is it true you're like Harry Potter living under the stairs? Is that true?
No, I wish that sounds a bit more interesting. No, I live in pretty much it's like a shoebox, like an oblong, quite long shoebox, and space
in the sky.
Premium. I mean, the other week when I tidied my cupboard, 6 bin bags of rubbish I took out of that cupboard.
That's quite a portent of doom, isn't it? I'm starting to think it's not 28mm that's dead, but brother. Okay. Actually, what happened was that all the 28mm providers went and found him.
They hunted him down.
They went and found him. But welcome, everybody. I can see. So instead of going through, there's so many of you in the chat now. The chat's done something.
We started something by saying we were going to talk to the first person. Because what time did we see somebody on this morning?
I think it was about. It was early, about 20 past.
That was Mark, wasn't it? Was it Mark?
No, it was Rich.
It was Rich. Yeah. It was Rich, but the first it is. I can't even take the chat back that far because there's been so many of you. Anyway, welcome everybody, and of course, if you're watching on the replay, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. What we're going to do is we're having a little chat tonight about our greatest hobby moments or our best memories or something positive. Potential. Well, it doesn't have to be positive. I guess your greatest moment might also be your biggest loss. I'm not sure about it. Anyway, we shall find out. But of course, we have a few things to get through. But before we roll into what we've been working on in the last week, we've got an announcement to make. And Dom, do you want to do the honours?
Yeah. For those who are very keen to get along to CrackCon at Boards and Swords on whatever day it is in May.
7th
of May. I was going to say the 8th, and then I realised that was wrong.
That's the next day, yeah.
The 7th of May. If you want to come on the 8th, then you're very welcome. Probably see what's left of us. We have 5 extra tickets available. They will go up on sale at 9 o'clock UK time. It's only going to be useful in the UK. So if you missed out and you're really, really keen to go, they'll be live to be purchased. First come, first served. 5 tickets. Only one at a time can be sold, I'm afraid. But if you missed out and you're really keen to go, grab them while they're hot.
That's it. So we'll post a link in the chat here, and the link will be over on the Facebook group. And after that, that's it. These are the final tickets.
This is the final.
If we sell these ones, then it will have been a sold out event, and we'll have doubled effectively how many we had last year, which means that there's a little bit more pressure this time.
Yeah, I just point out as well that even with these 5 extra tickets, we're still more popular than the Rolling Stones.
We're more popular than a lot of things.
Yeah.
Can you remember that when we started the first one and we talked about this and we put them up for sale and we thought nobody's going to come. This is going to be a freaking nightmare.
Mark said 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. 9 p.m. mate. 1 hour or 55 minutes from now, we'll put them. Yeah. We'll put them live. So if you want one, then grab it. Say Dom will put it in there. And if it goes past 9 o'clock and we've forgotten to do it, just tell us.
Just remind us, because
remind us.
Forget.
You know. And we've got some other news. We'll talk about it later in the stream about how you can get hold of a few things from CrackCon, and also about the different games and where you can find that information. As always, the link to all of our channels is down below, along with the link to the Facebook page. So why not come over there and join us? You get to see all the photos that everybody's putting up. You get to see all the information about CrackCon, and you'll just get to talk rubbish with everybody else on there, which is fantastic. So on with that, what kind of week has it been for you guys? Productive?
I'm not going to say anything that Dom says something, because his idea of productivity is slightly different to everyone else's.
Well, I even caught myself out this week because I was fully. So, as I said, sadly my father-in-law died last week, and as a result, most of last week we had family, my wife's family, sort of in and out the house pretty much all week, sorting things out and trying to get arrangements sorted. And I thought, I haven't done any painting, and I hadn't done any painting until Saturday. There
we go. What? 2 days brace for impact, everybody.
and I started to take some pictures this morning, and I thought, actually, it didn't do too badly, actually, considering I only had a couple of days to do it.
This is going to make me, I say before you don't, it's going to make me feel all the worse, because I was like, oh, I'm actually going to rival Dom this week, actually, with what I've done. And I'll get those things finished off on Monday morning and Sunday. And then I had such a hectic night last night, and then today just didn't happen. So I've only actually got one thing finished, whereas I've got a whole bunch of stuff that's like just a shade or a basing away from being done. So it's just so frustrating.
Well, I have to say, in fairness, some of this was half done before, so but I'm still going to claim it, obviously. So I've carried on with Milanchniks because why not? Of course. There's another pipe block done. So that was half done before. So I can I aim half? No, I hadn't based it or anything, so it doesn't count until it's fully done, does it? So that's it's supposed to be the black band, which is one of the infamous "Did they really exist? And if so, were they wearing black and what have you?" bands. So I just sort of predominantly did them black, but there's lots of other colours mixed in because, funny enough, as I was finishing off, I was reading a book where they said they never wore black, and I'm thinking, shit, I've just painted 24 figures predominantly black. Anyway, but black's fairly cool, so it works with the flag. So that's another pipe block done for that.
They are very, very nice.
Which I'm pleased with.
How have you stopped that base from warping? Because normally when you have like those massive bases, like, have you done anything, or have you just
absolutely nothing?
Because I hear, because I had the unfortunate experience with my Carthaginians where the base did warp because I was lumping all of the best Colombian snow effect on it, and it warped edges. So when it came to do my Kings of War bases, I painted PVA underneath it first. So I did a layer of PVA underneath, so the idea being that when you extra set, but apparently I didn't need to do that. I just need to do whatever you do.
I mean, well, I suppose actually in a way I did the same, because that's all PVA under the geek whatever it is stuff underneath. So it effectively is PVA, the whole thing. So maybe that's why it hasn't warped. I don't know. But yeah. So that was that. And then I did a little hand cannon-y thing.
Oh, very cool.
Which I absolutely love this figure. So I hadn't realised until I got it, and I actually positioned it wrong because I'd stuck it down on the base, because you know how fiddly these things are to get them to stand upright. So I did all that. I was really pleased with myself, and then realised the guy who's lighting the whatever the touch paper thingy should actually be standing at the back but it wouldn't have fitted on the base. So I had to improvise and put a rock.
No, I like it like that way because the guy who's halted it's looking at him basically going, "What are you doing?"
I know, because he's actually holding the damn thing, and the guy in front with the thing, he's standing well back with a hand over his face. It just makes me laugh.
That guy on the left, he's got an expression like, "In 25 seconds, we're going to be in pieces."
Yeah. Ken's weighing in there with
there you go.
There you go. So,
well, that's what I'm choosing to go with, Ken. That's why I went with the black.
Now I think there is actually a Yorkshire connection to the black band as well. I've got to check this, but yes, there is, I believe, because the final claimant to the Yorkist throne, which was one of the Delapoles. I think I can't remember which one it was. I'm going to say John because most of them were called John Delapole. He was called the White Rose, and he went over and he fought with the Landsknechts. He fought in lots of wars over.
I was just reading about him,
and he had convinced quite a lot of people, including the King of France, to help finance his invasion of Britain, England, with Landsknechts against Henry VIII. He just had one more battle to fight, which was Parva, I believe. I think it was Parva, where he was killed. But if that, and I think he was with the Black Band.
I think he was. Then that's why I was reading about him and thinking, that's familiar.
I was thinking how cool that would be to do a what if Landsknecht invasion of beach landings with Landsknechts with pipe blocks coming out. You could do the whole thing. CrackCon 23. What happened when the Yorkists came back to claim the throne and they brought the Landsknechts with them. It's crazy, isn't it? It's awesome.
Brilliant.
It's awesome.
I love that idea. That is superb. Yeah. The left-hand guy saying, "For God's sake, Carl." Yeah. Yeah. I also, what else did I do? This will piss Martin off no end. So,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Flags of War. Ian from Flags of War reached out to a couple of people and said, loads of people, and said if anybody wants to see some of his new figures that he's working on for a Kickstarter, let him know. So we all did, and Martin did, and they ignored him, which is quite funny. Really.
It's only because I love the whole Border Reaver thing, the whole story. I love it. I think it's great, but I'm going to be backing it, whatever. Now I've seen your pictures, so go on, put them up.
So these are the four that he gave me. Of the Border Reaver guys. They're a bit washed out there and it's a bit too bright, but I really, really love doing these. These are great fun.
You like that yellow, don't you?
Do you know, I realised that after I'd done it. I thought, shit, I've done loads of yellow lately. I think it just, I don't know. Yeah,
but it looks good. That is very cool. That is awesome.
That is nice.
Yeah, there's the yellow man.
Yeah, they are lovely. You've done an awesome job on those. They are really nice. That is class.
Yeah,
aren't there? Because these are for his for the Kickstarter, aren't they? Isn't there? There's a Blackadder and Baldric and Percy in there as well.
I believe there will be. So this is. I think he's doing this in. Oh God, I've lost my piece of paper. I think it was April. He's doing this. This Kickstarter. So he's got one coming up. But he also sent me some War of Austrian Successor figures, and they're April is the Kickstarter for that, and the border ones are May. He said is when that's going to go live, complete with the whole campaigning set and rules.
Yeah, and it gives you can use the peel house and look at what Yorkshire Dragoons just put up. I was just about to say because of course you've got the peel houses, which are like these, really quintessential, associated with the Border Reavers, and he's got someone. Does he wargame? Does he have room for wargaming in his peel house?
To do wargaming in a peel house? Wow.
Would it be great to do CrackCon 2023 in a peel house? But no, what a cool... And it's such a cool period, the Border Reavers.
Fantastic. Fascinating.
Are you familiar with it, Steve, the Border Reavers?
Yeah, I've got my best mate. Well, we're both of Scottish descent, but his family are actually from the borders.
They're a Reaver family.
Yes.
I just like it because they just, they effectively didn't, they're not Scottish, they're not English, they're just the borderers.
They're just borderers, yeah.
That's it. And then there's the example, and I can't. There's some battle where the English have obviously hired some, the Scots have hired some, and the Reavers, the two Reaver contingents come against each other, and they just stop and have a chat. And then when someone realizes, they basically play fight and then bugger off.
They did. I mean, they love kicking the snot out of each other, but they love better kicking the snot out of anybody from the outside, and that was what's so fun about them. I think it's brilliant.
I know.
So yeah,
I
I'm
really
really cool that Kickstarter. When that comes out, I'm all in. So
he said that they sold it years ago. It was a base for your reenactment group. Oh well, all right, that's it. We'll when we've got enough money, we'll do a Kickstarter for the PCP to buy our own peel house, and we'll reeve along the border like Steve's ancestors.
Oh no, it's my
his mate's ancestors.
He referred to mine as your because my descent is from the Highlands. So he said, yeah, he said your mob were Highlanders. Yeah.
Oh, dear. That's some awesome stuff, Dom. Nice one. What, Steve? What about you? What have you been up to, dude?
Germans.
He's back. He's back.
Germans.
I'm back. No, I've been doing some more restoration. I feel a bit cheating because I'm not actually painting these from the ground up. They're just sort of improving on them. But I'll run through what I've been doing. So I started off. This was the first ever vehicle that appeared on my channel. It's the SD KFZ 251/10. It's a command vehicle. So it's been given a complete overhaul, better camouflage, more stowage, more weathering, better basing. Just it looks an awful lot better than it did.
That's sweet. Really nice.
I do like that.
For me, it was.
Nice.
I didn't like the original camouflage, so what I did, I went back with sort of slightly brighter colours. I've just dry brushed the camouflage on. It's more blended, and it looks. I haven't looked at reference photographs. It does look an awful lot better. So after those, I started working on more transports.
Okay.
So
yeah. Now I absolutely love that. I think that might be one of my favorite. I haven't seen your Germans for a while, you see, and I see that. I just think that's also I do just think about Indiana Jones where he jumps in the back.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it reminded me.
I didn't really have to do a lot. It was just touching up a few chip bits of paint, weathering with the weathering pigments, and also some better basing. But that Opel Blitz Multia kit is one of Warlord's best plastic kits. It is so.
Which one's plastic? Both of them, or
both plastic? They're both. They both come from the same box.
It's the same model, isn't it? You can just either do it with the tracks or without the tracks.
Or the cab, the bit at the back. You can either have it covered with the tarp, or you can put the dudes in it like that.
Yeah. I ran a game of Acton Cthulhu, and that would have been perfect because I had a whole squad kept on going past. My players were trying to sneak around. I kept on moving the truck in. I just had a piece of paper with Germans written on it. I was moving around.
High tech. So I've been working on a few vehicles, but then I'm working towards. Me and my mate, I've got this game of ball action coming up very soon. So I'm overhauling just that one arm at the moment. So this is something I made last year, and it's a kit bashed light mortar.
Oh, that's lovely.
And see the guy at the back actually holding the mortar. The only German part of that's his helmet and the equipment. It's built from a US Marine body and arms from the British Commonwealth box. And
you're not going to start upsetting people on certain websites again, on certain Facebook pages again, are you?
No. Actually, when I originally posted these on Facebook years ago, some guy said he was questioning. See the guys that are in the back. Some have got the helmet flash on.
Yeah.
He said by 1944 they weren't wearing that as much.
Right. So obviously I've listened to you talk about like the bulge, but because I haven't painted anything from World War II for quite a while, we've been talking about button counting and the podonics and the livery stuff. So I don't want to say I didn't believe you, but I was a bit like, oh, I can't be that bad. No. But I'm painting something World War II at the minute, and I decided to go on the lookout just because I just put up a question just talking about British tank iconography. And oh my God. All I asked was like, can I just get away with doing the divisional symbol? And nope, they didn't like it. They did not like it. At all. I've now left that group.
Like I said last week, there's so little point. You must have something. There must be a chasm in your life somewhere that turns you into that type of person. I mean, I don't mind constructive criticism or people pointing out or recommendation. You've gone wrong there, Steve. It was like this. That's fine, but don't. It's just the approach. But the last thing, again, something I painted a while back, but these have been at a good lick of paint and new basing. Is some kit bashed Volksturm.
Oh yes, very nice.
I knew those old man looking heads from the original Warlord British infantry box came in really handy here. That's those
I love the old dude with the Panzerfaust. The two of them at the back there. It's just brilliant.
They look like crotchety old men. They really do.
They do. That's brilliant.
And the other two heads with the cap are from the plastic USMC box. I just thought it just looks like an old man's cap.
That is I tell you right now as well. That's that's pretty much a Operation Squad Army just there, and all that character. That's just awesome.
See, again, built from the absolutely brilliant Winter German kit, so versatile, just used across so many different projects. But that's what I'm doing. I've been painting Germans for the past 2-3 weeks now. Like Andrew said on the Facebook group, the world is returning to normal Castile.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's it. Normality
on his axis. You know, it's got me so. I've been watching your things, and I think, got some Germans down there. I really should paint. It's going to happen. You just got me completely excited.
I don't know how well this is going to show up, but I'm doing my little grant at the minute.
Oh,
nice.
Which is very cool. Although I'm yet to decide whether to base or not, because if I based them, I've got to wait for the bases. That's the only thing, and I really want to do all the pictures now.
That was what I was going to say. The Desert Rats decals are out now. They weren't available to the 13th.
Oh. Brilliant, because I ordered some from Skytrex on Friday, so I just went and got them from Skytrex.
I've been checking daily, and I found out last week that it's the 13th. So yeah, I'll be ordering mine soon.
Okay, are they doing the Italian ones? Because finding the Italian decals is really, really hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The Pendraken. Is it IB15? Is that the name of the decals that they sell that are good for 15 mils? They got like one sheet of generic Italian stuff with no divisional badges and no just the lines to indicate company number, which to be fair I could just paint. So yeah, if anyone knows of any Italian 15 mil decals, that'd be very handy.
I'll be very, very interested. Just a quick question from Gary. What colour are they using the Panzerfausts? Started off with Vallejo khaki. Then I used a very, very watered down Agrex Earthshade across the whole thing. Then to the khaki, I added a small drop of off-white and just touched the very, very highlight. So it's really, really quick to paint, but it works really well. Hope that helps.
Nice. So my question about basing the vehicle is already
about, before we move on, because I'll lose the comment in a minute. He was asking about that Kickstarter for the Border Wars stuff, reavers. Best thing to do, Wilco, is check out Ian runs a Facebook page called Border Wars. If you check that out, he's notifying everything that comes through that. So,
when he sets the project up as well on Kickstarter, they usually set up a few weeks in advance, and you'll have a landing page. You can go on there, and there'll be a thing you can click that just says "Notify me by email when this goes live."
Yeah,
which is what I did with that. Oh, that got delivered today. The LC'd castles and everything. I got all the STLs.
Oh, cool!
So I'm very excited, and now, if Kev, if you're watching this, I'm going to be having a chat with you about your printer tomorrow. Because I really need to print me Jerusalem.
It's going to be very busy.
I'll pay for your electric. Given what's happening with energy bills at the minute, it's probably not the best of times to do it. Wicked. So I've been up to quite a lot, but as I unfortunately I only managed to finish one thing. I'm working on some, obviously, my tanks, which have been a bit of a relearning curve for me, because it's been 6 years since I've painted tanks, or World War II tanks at least. And we've got some Wars of the Roses on the go, got the castle on the go, but I only finished just the one thing, which I know you guys have seen, I think. But it's for the Crusades, and I've finished a command base for the Crusaders themselves, and there he is. So that is Cavalejo models, all of them. These were the first ones I actually bought for them, but for some reason I feel bad doing command bases before I've done a few units. I just have it in my head that they've got to have someone to command, so you can't paint them up until you've done.
I'm the same with my Lance Connects. The command base are normally sort of 3 or 4 bases in. I don't do it at the beginning. I can't. It feels wrong.
Yeah, I do the same with artillery and things like that. Support weapons, you can't do them until you've got some troops for them to be supporting.
No, I know what you mean, but these were.
That's awesome, mate. They are some of your nicest. They're just
Thank
brilliant.
you. I'm really pleased with it. There's someone's pointed out to me. So the one that I shared on the group and on my community tab. So the guy holding the banner in the foreground looks like the Grail Knight from Indiana Jones.
Yes,
that's exactly what I was trying to think of. You're right.
So this is what he was doing before he ended up in the in the temple. There he is. I had no intention, but what. Just a lot of fun. I mean, the figure's so nice, but he's not. Well, it's not a model made specifically to be a named commander, but I was using him to be Robert Curthose, who is the eldest son of William the Conqueror, who became Duke of Normandy after William died. His brother became King William II of England. But this guy was basically, he gets a bit of a bad rep because he was basically a terrible tactician and strategist, but apparently an awesome battlefield commander. He just didn't, but he couldn't see the bigger picture. But he eventually died in, I think is it Leeds Castle? But he lived till he was about 82. It's just that he spent 35 years in prison by his brother. But yeah, so I just tried to make it look, there's a bit of a different view, like they were, rallying backwards to take position. And this whole base came about because of the wounded chap on the right, the one who's holding the flag, because I love that model. That was the one that I ordered first, and then I was like, right, now I need to find a reason.
You've got to build the base around him, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was loads of fun, and then there we go. There's just a review of it going on with the Grail Knight in action, but yeah, that was a great deal of fun to do. I love those models. I really do. I want him to design more ranges for more years. I mean, his main project at the moment is this Crusader Reconquista period, but he is interested in other things. So it'd be really interesting to see what he comes up with. But yeah, that's basically all I completed, because everything else was a little bit up in the air. So yeah, Haley took my daughter roller skating for the first time at the weekend, and my daughter took Haley out, and Haley had a lump on her wrist the size of a cricket ball that had turned black, and at 11 o'clock last night decided probably should go to A&E, so she went to A&E last night and got home at 4 a.m. And has now got worse. But yeah, otherwise I would have finished a bit more, but yeah, it looks like it is bit. Yes, because do you know what? I was thinking I did choose. You chose wisely. Peter, where's Ken and has he moved? Yeah, that's why he's not here, because he's moved and he's tiling tonight, I believe.
The fiddle yard.
Yeah. So tiling in the fiddle yard. The new album by Kenneth Eldridge.
We did try and get a Bob the Builder picture as like a proxy, but we couldn't find one. So,
oh, what you mean? He's, but we I was about to say we wish him all the best, but that makes it sound like he's left. He hasn't left.
Although the comment he put up about house moving probably does. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't use that one.
I know it's great, isn't it? He wasn't. I don't think he's enjoyed himself. He hasn't enjoyed himself, has he? No. Right then. So on to tonight's main topic now. As you've probably seen, as you're joining in, our topic very simply is our great war game memories. What are they? Are they? Is it some kind of victory that you've pulled out of the bag and crushed your enemy and they've cried in front of you? Is it that you've got something painted up and finished? Is it that you've managed to paint that the eyes on that one model that you actually wanted them on, and they weren't looking in different directions? Is that, what is it? So we put a question up in the Facebook group, and it's actually been some really good answers and points made. So we're going to share a few of those, and we're going to go around around the table, around the painting desk, and we'll find out. But after we came up with this, and it was actually Dom's idea. All I've been able to think about for the last couple of days is this. Now I hope everyone gets this little clip, but this is all I could think about when Dom said, "What's our greatest wargaming memories?"
What I want to know is how the schmeck can you remember what dice you threw at a game you played when you were 17? I jotted it down in my risk campaign book. I always used to do that. So I could replay my moments of glory over a glass of brandy in the sleeping quarters. I ask you, what better ways than to spend a Saturday night? You got me.
That is
that's all I could think of, and I really hope that everyone knows what that's from. I have a feeling that Ken would not know what that was from, which would probably have been the end of our friendship. But yes, it's fantastic. So, of course, please drop in the chat what your best wargaming moments are. If you dropped it in at the start of the chat, please drop it in again, because so many people have commented. What's happened is it's knocked the chat so far back we can't see it anymore. So feel free to drop them in. There's been some brilliant ones, but I think we should start with young Steve. Steve, what's one of your best wargaming or hobby memories or moments?
I've got some pictures. And this is from last year.
He's upscaled this, hasn't he? Cracky.
I know.
This, do you know when you complete something and you've worked on it for a while and you just think it's very special? It doesn't happen a lot to me, because for me, it's just a hobby. I just enjoy what I do generally, and I just enjoy painting and building. This project, however, will remain very special to me, and it's this one, which is my Winter US Airborne in Bastogne.
Can I just be brutally honest with you, right? When I was putting up the pictures and you'd already put those up, I thought that's what you painted this week.
Oh, God.
I was like, why hasn't he put that picture up yet? He's painted loads. Why isn't he?
No, this is my Winter US Airborne that I worked on for the best part of 4 months last year. Now, the reason I like this, and it's one of my favorite gaming memories, is that I enjoyed every single minute of it. But the best thing about it is every single figure in that army is kit bashed. Every single one is kit bashed. There are no stock miniatures at all in that entire army.
That was one of your sort of goals when you set out to do it, wasn't it? I mean,
yes.
Or did that just happen naturally, or was that did you sit down and go, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm making this conscious decision to do this"?
Yeah, I wanted everything to be different. That was one where I said I started work early one Friday so I could finish at 3. So all the stuff was being delivered on the same day. And as soon as I got to 3 o'clock, I was like, yay! And just sat down and started kit bashing straight away. But I had no idea it was going to take the best part of 4 months to complete, because every figure is completely unique. It's just, I can't remember how many figures there were, but I replaced all of the metal crews. There's no metal in this apart from the weapons, so the anti-tank weapons, but everything is kit bashed, every single one. And I've never used it, and I can't wait to use it. But so that one in the middle there, that was the when I spent 45 minutes building a radio.
Yeah,
out of various bits and pieces. But as soon as I finished that, I just sat down. It was completely finished, and I was a bit sad that I'd finished it. I wanted to carry on.
Well, I felt
that's always a sign of a good project.
I just did.
Sorry?
That base I just did. I felt a bit like that with that base. Dom's right. You're sad, and then you try to replicate it by buying something else. You're like, I'm going to really enjoy this, and then you hate it because you'll never get that feeling back.
No, and then it's funny enough. The next project I did after that, I've given up on because it bored the tits off me.
Was that the Lander?
No, that was. Don't even start on. No, it was when I started those Baltacs and British in Burma. Just bored the living snot out of me. But as far as wargaming or hobby memories, it's a really, really recent one. It was only last year, but I just enjoyed working on it. I didn't rush through it. didn't deliberately take as long. It just naturally took 4 months to build everything. I remember one Sunday afternoon, I was working on the there's a heavy machine gun in there. It's got 4 crew.
Right.
It took me an hour and a half to get them in the right positions on the base because I wasn't happy until the very, very final part. I just thought, I don't normally do that with projects. Just normally, just get it finished. But it was like I was subconsciously working on the best bolt action army I've ever worked on. And yeah, great memories. I don't think I'll ever work on a project it's so enjoyable as that. I just enjoyed every single minute of it. It was rather good.
It makes it sound like you're always chasing that high again with every project that you start.
That's the definition of crack, isn't it? CrackCon. Chasing that high.
Just off the back of the Red Dwarf, have you seen Luke's comment, which I think maybe we have to get on a t-shirt if I can find it again. Where's it gone? There it is.
That'd make an awesome t-shirt. Really
I think it might. I think it might have to. I think maybe that'll have to be.
Might be done.
Is that going to be a staff one? Is that the staff one for CrackCon?
That would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah.
What are we? Well, I know what we are. I know what people say we are.
We're not going to say that.
I'm very aware of what we are. If you saw our that's really cool. I think that's really good, and especially because as you say, your project, no one has got that army. I mean, there's kit bashing alone, which makes it really hard for people to replicate things, but that's yours, and that's the awesome thing about being able to do a project like that.
And it was the snow basin as well. It was tying it all together. And because what was happening, I was painting them, and then as soon as one was painted, I put it in a box with the rest of them, so they weren't out. I couldn't see I couldn't see the force building. And then when I finished the last thing I painted with it was a Greyhound scout car, and I finished that, and that was the last thing. And I got them all out and put them on the table, and I was like, "This is bloody awesome! I am so chuffed with myself." And yeah, I can't wait. The thing is, I won't play with them except on a snow-based table.
That was going to be my next question.
I was going to ask the same thing.
Now I've actually got this is my second winter-themed army. I've got a German sort of Eastern Front Stalingrad one, but they'd pass as Battle of the Bulge or Ardennes or something. So
but you're happy to use it. You wouldn't. I mean, if you took that army out, your pride and joy, and it got absolutely twonked on the table.
I don't doubt that it would. It would.
But yeah, I know you won't care about that. To me, I'd cry if I did something so beautiful as that, so perfect, and something was exactly what I wouldn't ever play with it. It would just sit in the cupboard.
No, I just remember when it was finished, just sat there, just looking at it, thinking, "This is ace." I enjoyed everything. It was really weird. I started that. Building that army the same day I started playing Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten that phase. Yeah.
Oh yes.
And guess what got more work done on it? Yeah, the bolt action army. I got bored with Stardew Valley because the winter season bored me. Anyway, moving on.
Right. Okay. Well, so on that note, so let's have a look at what a couple of people have said. Then we'll come back.
I love this one from Andy. Best wargaming memory: getting a job at GW. Worst wargaming memory: getting a job at GW.
I just saw. I can't find it now, but Alex put up his favorite wargaming memory: the friends he made along the way. I'd probably slightly change. I say the friends I lost. along the way, the ones I'm like, I can't be, definitely can't be bothered with. Right, the screen might just go funny for a second. So, there we go. All right, 1 second. That's probably.
Oh God, what's he doing now?
No, there's something that I needed to connect to do, but I had forgotten to do it, so I'm just popping it up now. Oh my God! Right then, so some of the what have we got in the comments? Some of the other. One. So the eccentric man, his best wargaming moment: playing Warhammer Fantasy Doubles at Warhammer World. Opponents were very full of themselves and quite aggressive, quibbling over lots of rules. They baited my frenzied knights. That's fantastic.
Good job, Ken.
I've played 2 games in Warhammer World and I got slaughtered both times to the point where the first game, I think it was lizard men. And what are the little lizard men called? Like the tiny little lizards.
Skinks.
Yeah, it was just an army of them, and they just ran around shooting me the whole game. My shooty dark elves just got outrun by these little lizards and taken apart. So that was depressing. And in the other game, I played against a dwarf gunline, and I just got smashed, absolutely smashed. So of course I thought the best thing to do was go and start playing Napoleonics, because both of you got gun lines then.
And how's that going for you at the moment?
Yeah, I haven't played. Actually, to be fair, we've got another Napoleonic game coming up. I'm trying to convince Hayley that she wants to play one on my birthday in a couple of weeks. So it's like, darling, will we can we do something special? Could you not use the 95th, please, as it's my birthday? And then
please, it is my birthday.
It's meant the other opponents were 12 inches away, and they thought my roll wouldn't make it. I rolled a 6-6, wiped them out, and then overran into another unit and wiped it out as well. Game over, winter. There is something quite satisfying in all games, isn't there, when you get that sweeping advance or that overrun and your cavalry do their thing, which is so rare for me that cavalry ever do what they're supposed to do, and they smash through. Or if you're playing a Napoleonic game and you're like, oh well, that unit's just going to form square, but then they fail it, or and somehow your cavalry actually crash home.
Those are the ones you remember, aren't they? Those are the games when that unusual thing happens, and it just that's so good.
That's usually when I start checking the rule books. I think I've done something wrong.
What? Killed something? What happened?
Cavalry hit? Oh, you mean you're meant to do that? Or like when I played Ken and I was making it actually easier for him, assaulting the redoubt. And then you pointed out that it should be harder, and he still couldn't do it. He still couldn't do it. Benjamin says the best wargaming moment: establishing and running our local tabletop gaming club with some friends. Then, after leaving for studies and work, I returned 10 years later to find it still up and running. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That must be a great sense of achievement. I mean, we ran our own little gaming day and convention. That's definitely one on my list of great hobby things, is seeing actually seeing it, and like the building not catching fire or people not and actually getting on and walking away. That was fantastic. But right then, Dom, I know if you had some time to think of one.
Yeah, because I said to Martin, the stupid thing about this is I thought of it as an idea, and then I thought, actually, what is mine? I can't even think. And it sounds really, and a lot of people are saying the same sort of thing in the chat, I noticed, but genuinely, without being all slushy about it, it is about the mates and the fun I've had along the way playing games. I don't often remember, a bit like unlike Rimmer, I think I don't remember the individual dice or the individual. Yeah, it doesn't. Occasionally, there's the odd thing, and I'll talk about those later. But sometimes the odd things that happen. But generally, it's just that laugh you have around the table, just the fun. Thinking about things like putting on a game at Salute. A long time ago, and having a right old laugh just running a game, or other times going to Warfare and drinking a little bit too much in the afternoon and then going and play silly games all afternoon, and just that fun you have. As you mentioned just now, CrackCon, and that was just awesome. I genuinely think that was one of the most funnest times I've had gaming ever. It was just awesome, just so much fun.
Really, even with Sean baiting you,
even with that
6 hours,
bloody Sean going on and on and on. Oh God! Please tell me he's not going this time.
He is. He has his ticket, and but you're not running a game. But I think
maybe still bait me. He'll follow me around.
I was going to say you're our man on the ground. I think Sean should be with you.
Can we red card Steph, please?
I don't know. The thing is, though, I'm a bit. I think by popular demand, that if we, I don't know. Yeah.
You absolute git.
But no, look, Yorkshire Dragooners, best wargaming memory. CrackCon last year, it was his first event and his first proper game. Thank you, Ray. We're glad that we could facilitate that for you. I was just amazed that, again, the whole thing came off and that none of my figures got broken. That was one of the main things that I was terrified about. Not because of the people who were using them, but because I was umpiring that game with Ken.
Yes.
And I was watching him. He likes to gesture, and I was watching my figures down the other end of the table going, please step away from the dragoons.
I was watching back as I was editing the game I put up the other night from when he and Jonathan came around here and we had a game, and I was watching back at Ken just grabbing my my figures as he wiped them off the table, and it was like I was grimacing internally, even though I knew they survived. But this great mitt coming in again, it's like, oh shit.
I've got that game on my list to watch. I'm going to be out on site, so
it's a very long one, I'm afraid. But,
that's why I've saved it. I've saved it for when I'm out in the cold. It's going to keep me warm. I hope Ken loses because that'll make me even warmer. So don't spoil it. Carl Burks is. Oh, well, Carl said kind of similarly. Said his first games as a youngster, World War II, Sandskrieger rules by John Sanders, played on his bed, which of course was sand-coloured bed sheets. Funny enough, some of my fondest wargaming memories are those first games that I had against my mates when I was sort of 13, 14, and it was things like Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer 40,000, and we would just, because we at that point we weren't list building, we just came up with these bizarre scenarios and reasons to fight each other, because back then there was no discussion about what you wanted to collect or anything like that, and not that there probably is much now, but we all had Space Marines, just different versions of Space Marines, and like none of that I guess in the GW lore wouldn't be fighting each other, but we came up with all these ludicrous reasons. And I remember that my friend had basically, I can't remember, like Windows 3.1, and he had paint, so he drew the battle maps in paint and then reprinted them off at school. And then we would talk about them at break time. We didn't have a lot of friends at break times. That was cool. But I guess if I could pick one out, and it is fairly recent. I mean, obviously we've covered CrackCon, and we've everything else, but one of mine is I started the channel just on a bit of a whim, and seeing it grow and meeting everybody and being able to put up the reports is brilliant. And having those, I've gone back and rewatched some of my early videos and grimaced quite badly as I'm doing them. But I think they're great. They're brilliant memories. For me, I go back and there's some ways you're like, oh, I wish I could just go and do that one again. Why am I bothering with this one? But starting off on my YouTube stuff really started at the same time as my Wars of the Roses stuff. That was kind of the whole project that kicked the whole thing off. So when I actually finally got to get all that Wars of the Roses stuff on the table, and because this has been a project I've been thinking about for years and years and years, but I didn't start it because I knew it was going to be a rabbit hole that would never end. And I was right. To actually get that first game and see all of the wards of men set up, the 3 separate battles, the flags, the livery, and have that's got to be one of my favorite. I think I spent so long at table level and taking photos that I was winding my opponent up, because I just took so many photos, and I didn't care. I mean, I got trounced, obviously. But setting it up and having it all set up, it was really proud moment. Hopefully one of my kids one day will do something and I'll feel just as happy.
Obviously it'd be no comparison at all, but
no, but I'm joking. I love my children. Brilliant. But I also love my figures.
There is something about the fact that just seeing your armies just deployed on the table, isn't it? When you've worked really hard at a project, or just even if you haven't finished it, just to sort of have that first game with them. That's something that just always makes you just, even if it's good, bad, indifferent almost. I mean, obviously if it's good, then it's even better. But, just the fact that there it is. I've worked on that. I'm really pleased with how it looks, hopefully. It's something very satisfying indeed.
Yeah. No, I mean, the same happened to me with when mate both started our bolt action Pacific armies. I did American Marines, he did Japanese. And we worked on them, and I spent a week just making jungle scenery. And I don't like making scenery. It's just not for me. But I persevered, and he came around, and we had a nighttime Friday game of ball tax. And I remember setting the table up with all this new jungle scenery. I got my Marines out, he got his Japanese. I just looked at the table and thought, there's just something special about that. Yeah. It was very British. Two blokes drinking ale on a Friday night playing war games. It was a very, very, very British Friday night.
It does sound you were channeling your inner Rimmer. It's the thing I said to Haley, because I was looking for that clip earlier, and Haley loves Red Dwarf, and then I really saw that clip, and I was like, oh god, it's us. It is, but there's nothing wrong with that. No, I know exactly what you mean. It's that feeling as well, isn't it? Especially when you get a mate over, you've planned the game, or for example, me and Miller have been planning that ECW game that we did for ages and ages and ages. And then for it actually to come off and actually get all of the stuff on the field. And I know he was really excited to get everything out and put it on the table. So again, we just spent ages going, I don't care that my pipe block is getting shot to pieces, which it did. But it looked good doing it. So it's always just a lot of fun.
It is the visual thing as well, isn't it? I think that's the thing that the hobby is, and why I always get a little bit confused why people kind of very happy just to play completely with plastic or just unpainted figures, is that visual effect. Even if you've shoved a book under a towel to make a bit of terrain look good and stuck some things on, and you've made a bit of an effort with your figures, it just looks spectacular. And that's what I love. That's what I love about it.
That's what you want, isn't it? That's going, you're doing it for that reason, and especially when you're sharing those battles on YouTube as well. I would still make the same effort regardless of whether or not I was filming them. But then obviously if you have those comments and you have people saying, I really like the terrain, how did you do it, great looking game, it is really, really nice. Bicker City Dog has said his best wargaming moments are when their event games are finished and the players say they've had a great time playing, and it makes all the hassle worthwhile. Definitely. And then sort of that Steve, I think, echoes that when he says his best memory of his war games is his first big game at CrackCon. So thank you very much.
Do you know that it's interesting Don saying that about the Adepticon stuff and the convention stuff that he runs.
Thank you very much.
That's completely terrible. It's fine. When we had Mac on from the Salute organisation stuff, he was these wonderful people who spend huge amounts of their time putting on conventions and shows and things, and they genuinely could get such a thrill out of just seeing everyone having a great time. And it's the same when you run a club game or you run a game for your mates or what have you. It's something about it, isn't there? I think it's just that wonderful feeling of everyone had a good laugh. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
No, I know what you mean.
Getting very lovely here, isn't it?
It is. Marcus. Oh, hello, mate. First time you're able to make it to one of these. Welcome. Join in. What's your? I'm trying to keep up the chat here, so let us know what your favorite wargaming. Storm Steel said, to be serious, his best wargaming memory is the last game of Chain of Command he played. Funnily enough, his favorite memory before that was all the same as well.
He's having another go about Chain of Command, isn't he?
Is Miller. My great memory is my failing all my orders in the game of shot against. Well, that was amazing. Your first turn. We talk about that as and take the mick a bit, going, well, it is a possibility, isn't it, in Black Powder and all these Warlord games that you will fail your orders and that your entire army will do nothing. But that's pretty unlucky. I've never seen anyone
actually do that with their entire army.
It was amazing. It was amazing. I also loved the way that, like, in the video playback, like when I got him to talk about what he was about his turn, I was like, yeah, it's all part of the plan. They're holding their positions on the ridge line. I'm letting the royalists come to me. Fantastic stuff. And when someone's put turnip, good bad. Turnip.
That's his best memory. Just turnip. Oh, Jesus.
Lionheart says his one of his best memories is winning a Saga tournament at my local club with his Normans. Also joining PCP podcast and showed off my miniatures as well. Hopefully, someone will be winning some Saga tournaments with the PCP Normans / Crusaders that are winging their way across the Atlantic as we speak.
Are you sure it's on the way across the Atlantic, Steve?
That's
sure?
what's. Yeah.
For the sake of my blood pressure, my neighbours, and society in general, I'm not going to discuss that because I might get Martin's channel struck from YouTube altogether.
No, yeah, it is on my channel, isn't it? Okay. Oh, all right. We've had another one here, Andy. In all seriousness, the best wargaming memory was the Great Game. Not losing the haste on it and holding up the old guard. I would have loved to have. I couldn't go. So I was on holiday.
God, I would love to have done.
What a memory! That would have been fantastic. How many people in the chat went to that? If you went to it in the chat, just let us know. How many people in here went to it? Because it wasn't. Was there about 250 people? Something like that.
I think there's something like that. It was a lot of players. That's for sure. A lot of players.
Yeah. Luke says introducing a mate to Kings of War at his local club a few years down the line. He's my king. He's on the Kings of War committee and enters most of the tournaments. And he probably blames you for how much money he has spent. Yorkshire Gamer has said his best wargaming moment, putting all his Italian Wars collection on the table, sitting back and looking and thinking, I did that. Yeah. I thought you were honestly going to say putting all your Italian Wars collection on the table and then the legs buckled and the whole lot.
Superb.
And if you're coming along to CrackCon, you'll get a chance to see said Italian Wars table. You also get a chance to see Alex's O Group stuff. So make sure that you come along to see that. Oh man, I am a long way behind. What is it? Wow. Louis Baby, what's he said? Been recognised as having lost by far the most men in the Eastern Front Spellings mega game, the Belfast Student Union in the early 2000s.
I like Peter's comment as well. It's back to the old school here. Discovering wargaming at my uncle's house with Hinchcliffe armies. Yeah, well, I've recounted many times on many places, but my memory goes back to Hinchcliffe and minifigs armies back in the day. Yeah, absolutely.
Kaiser's just joined, or he's joined a few. Kaiser has said his best wargame is Red Dwarf. Rimmer's Recorder of Risk Game springs to mind. Well, Kaiser, just for you, because I went to all of the effort of that. I'm going to play it again, just because I went through.
What I want to know is how the schmeck can you remember what dice you threw at a game you played when you were 17? I jotted it down in my risk campaign book. I always used to do that. So I could replay my moments of glory over a glass of brandy in the sleeping quarters. I ask you, what better ways than to spend a Saturday night? You got me.
There we go.
This is, and then he's popping a question at me saying, "Is that a Flames of War start set back there?" Yes, it is. It is. It's the Tobruk one, which is getting worked on at the moment. I don't know why. I just really like. Well, I do know why. It's because it's an amazing value, lovely starter set. So that's why. It's 2 minutes to 9 o'clock. So just as a reminder, at 9 o'clock, the final five, it's like The Apprentice, are going live, the final 5 tickets. After that, there will be no more. If we can sell these 5, it will be a sellout event. Also, this year, we will be holding a charity raffle. So if anybody here has anything they would like to donate, as long as it's sort of like a sealed, box or, a completed squad or something like that, then you're welcome. We are going to be raising money for the charity Mind again, the same as we did last year. So if we can beat, what did we raise last year? Was it 350?
300 quid.
Yeah.
300 quid. So we're aiming to beat that. Haley will probably be in charge of selling the tickets. So you'll probably have someone coming around aggressively kind of convince you. So when she went and invaded the Warhammer tournament and made a couple of them buy tickets. So they came down for the draw and they didn't know what was going on. But yes, in 1 minute's time, those will go live. Dom will pop the link in the chat. The link will also go up in the Facebook group, and it's first come, first serve. So please go and get those. along with that, there's only 3 tables now left. I think 4 tables left, 3 or 4 for CrackCon. We've got quite a big range of games now. We've got 2 bolt action tables going on that are 6x4. We who are actually Warlord, who are going to be coming down. We have Ken's massive Italian Wars game at the front, which I think is taking up 4 6x4 tables or something like that. So if you couldn't get a 6x4 table, it's Ken's fault. It's Yorkshire's fault, everybody. Actually, no, because I'm playing I'm the Yorkist. It wasn't. No, it's fine. It's Yorkshire's fine. And of course, we have Alex's O Group game. We've got my Wars of the Roses game. If you are in the Wars of the Roses game, I sent a comment earlier and I tagged you in it. I will be creating little message groups for the Lancastrians and a little message group for the Yorkists. That is so I can send you details on your army, like your force points that you can spend. We can suss out who's got what. So please do check your messages. I believe you are all on Facebook because, well, you all booked it through Facebook. So I'm assuming you're on there. So do check.
Be warned, everybody who's playing that game, things are going to get tricky.
There might be a few mechanics. We're not just going simple. The joke about, I was joking about someone standing next to a table vaping, but yeah, it's like a proper Wars of the Roses battle. It's not going to be straightforward. And like the actual Battle of Barnet, I think you might have to be a bit suspicious of
the devious mind of Seventh Son is going to be in full evidence. I think we can all say.
I just want to take pictures at certain points and then post them. I'm really looking forward to it. So, but I'll also be sending out things like the army lists and the rules, and we will decide who is who. I know we've got a couple of people. I know we have our Oxford and our Warwick, but we don't have our Edward yet. I believe. I think Don might have put forward for as an Edward, but someone's got to be George. Someone's got to be George, Duke of Clarence. It's a bit like who's going to be Exeter. Of course, Dom donating his Exeter unless you've got an Exeter and people want to play with it. But yes, so we've got that. But also on the day itself, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but we have some Plastic Crack podcast dice trays, and here is the offending article. So Valley Colin, the Plastic Crack podcast, lovingly recreated in finest neoprene or whatever that material is.
If you like.
There we go. So there is unfurled. Now, if you would like one of these, then we can only do them via pre-order, and to get hold of one, you'll have to email us at the email address down below, the plasticcrackpodcast@gmail.com, and we need the order by, I can't remember what we said now. Was it the 1st of April? Was it?
Yes.
By Friday, the 1st of April, because that gives us time to get them ordered and made. But to go along with that, we will also have the dice. Now, the dice haven't arrived yet, but they are being made by the same people who made our lovely dice last year, the lovely pearl blue, but the ones this year will be red with the Plastic Crack Podcast logo on. I dare say there may be a dice in it for most people, but we'll also, if people would like sets of dice, we can do those, and we can also do a bundle of the 2. So for the first sort of commercial venture of the podcast, shall we say, if you would like them, we're doing basically this. If you'd like a set of the PCP dice, then 6 dice, they will be £7.50. The PCP dice tray on its own, you've just seen, is £10. But if you would like a little combo, a bundle deal, so you have the tray to roll those lovely PCP dice in, then it would be £15 for the both. So you're saving £2.50. And of course, I say, we're raising money, and we have a lot of fun. So if anybody would like one, anyone who's not coming to CrackCon, if you would like any of these, because we got some emails and some questions about these, then we will be opening them up to sell to people. We just might have to wait till after CrackCon, and we can see what we've got, what stock there is, but if we need more, then we will get them made. And as a final shout to CrackCon, please remember that you can buy the finest CrackCon apparel from the link that Dom is going to pop in the so it's the logo on the 106 just for you Miller. I will put it on. I will make you your own on the one. Did you see that I made him use those dice in that?
I did. And he was terrible with them, so they obviously are cursed.
They're so cursed. I got Peter. He still won.
He did.
Sorry if you thought I was not watching. So, but I say we have still got some apparel. We have, and I'm sorry, Matt. Matt, you're our model. We used you last year, and I'm going to use you again. I'm sorry. I think we need to probably pay you on commission here. Matt Mail, ladies and gentlemen, sporting the finest in Plastic Crack Podcast attire. Of course, if you are, there is nothing to stop you if you're not a CrackCon veteran from wearing a CrackCon veteran shirt. But you know, if you were there and experienced it, then you know we all know. We all know who was there. But of course, if you would like one of these, then please visit the link that John has put up. You can also find the link in the Facebook group as well. All proceeds from these will go to our chosen charity, and we want to just try and raise as much as we possibly can, because they do a great job, and it's obviously a set of issues that affects us all. And buy me a drink in the Tiger Bar. Are we going back to the Tiger Bar? Do we need to ring ahead to the travel lodge? Miller said this to me the other day. Do we need to tell them that there's going to be 50 people?
There's going to be even more people,
and they couldn't cope with 10.
Oh God!
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Plus, it prevents Miller from having his food eaten.
Oh, what was that? You could use a Plastic Crack Podcast one in your next battle report.
Why not?
We'll buy one of yours. We'll buy one of yours.
Yeah.
We'll swap them up. We'll swap them out. So yes, if you would like any of the t-shirts, go to the link. If you want the ticket, go to the link. If you would like any of the dice sets or the dice trays, email us down below, plasticcrackpodcast@gmail.com. Alternatively, you could probably direct message us if you're in the Facebook group, but the best assured way is to do the email down below. So obviously I think we'll carry on with our topic in a little bit, but we, as a slight interlude, Dom, Peter Little's been in touch.
Oh, blimey, hang on, I'm just doing links. Hang on.
All right.
I'm a man, I can't do two things at once. You do it.
Oh, yeah, Steve can do it, and we'll cut over to Steve with Peter Little's question of the week. It's in the private chat. I should probably have said that before you said
yeah.
Efficiency is
looking really really blank there.
I just got a rabbit in headlight moments there. I was like,
it's in the private chat. Okay. Oh shit! I can't find the link now. I can read it. Basically, it was in the light of the never-ending supply of new figures. With the panel, I love the fact he's so formal with us. It's great. The panel, bit of respect as well. It's good
I like that. I like being fair. Can we have that on our team? Is that what should we call ourselves? The panel.
The panel.
Probably the plank, knowing us. So with the panel, answer this question so a comparison can be drawn to the regular audience. How many projects have the panelists got that they brought the lead/plastic figures for, got the specific paints, and thought they would get round to starting in the next few months, and then did sweet FA with them? Not even a drop of primer applied. He says he's just counted 16 of his. 16, Peter?
16?
What the heck? So basically, how many projects have you bought everything for and not done a sausage with?
The Roman half of my Carthaginian project, which I talked about the other day, they're up there. They've been there now for 15 months. And they're in there, and I keep thinking about it, and I don't want to do it. But I do want to do it, but I don't want to do it. I don't know when I'm going to do it. So no, I've got them up there, and I would probably have to say, I'm looking around, my Gangs of Rome. I've cheated a bit because I painted that bakery building up there, but I haven't done the models, and it's a lovely game. I love playing it. But
why haven't you? Why? Because that seems right up your street. I don't know why you haven't done that.
I don't know. The models are lovely. They're futsal models. They're metal. They're really nice bases. I love the system. I love playing it. I keep on playing it against my friend because he's painted enough of it. But I haven't painted my own yet. I don't know why. It's not because I haven't enjoyed it, but I went and got everything. And as Peter said, I went out and got some paints. I wanted to do like different styles of tunics and things, and so I went out and bought all sorts of different whites and cream colors. So I could do off whites. Haven't done anything with it.
How weird is that?
I know. I got no explanation. And the other one is because the Carthaginian, like I keep looking at those bases, and it's the snow. I just like no. I was watching Travis's battle report, his Chain of Command battle report today, the Bastogne one that he just did, and I was looking at go, such a lovely board, and then I was like, but I'd have to snow base all my models again. And I don't have that time. So yeah, so there you go. It's my Punic Wars Romans. They will get done. Do those transfers go off? Out of curiosity, a little bit, because I bought all the transfers.
I think some do, yeah.
Yeah.
Bugger, because I bought about 90.
Oh, shit.
If anyone is interested in speed painting all of my Romans for my Punic Wars project, as well as my Celts, that would be awesome. I can pay you in Plastic Crack Podcast dice. Shout outs.
I love it.
God, what about you, Dom?
Well, I think the one that will not surprise you at all is the 6mm Samurai.
But you were gonna do it. You were gonna do it.
I was all over it. I was actually really excited about doing it, and every time I open the box up, so it doesn't actually strictly count, because I did actually undercoat a couple of strips, but that's as far as it's got. And in all honesty, that's as far as they're gonna get. I'm just not gonna do it.
Can I raffle them?
That's a good idea.
Can I raffle my 6mm army? I'll raffle my fully painted 6mm Samurai army.
I'll put my unpainted in with it. And there you go. There's 2 armies ready for someone, if they want them.
Well,
that's definitely it, and it doesn't happen very often for me. I mean, admitted I've got loads of plastic and metal sitting behind me, unpainted, ready to go. But bits of it, the projects have been done. And other projects I know I will get around to, but in all honesty, that one has never seen the light of day. Just no chance, not a chance. So that's definitely one for me.
And Steve,
do you know what? Not many. I'll be honest, because let me brush.
Good vintage.
Yeah, it was Vallejo Khaki. Lovely. Actually, I might need a drink or something. I was
two orders on dice and tray combos already. Look at that.
I don't think of the closest was probably that bolt action one I started last year, where I got bored really quickly with it. Apart from the universal the Bren carriers, I'm looking to read. Yes, definitely.
Your Prussian Landwehr, yeah.
Oh, the Prussian Landwehr is what cheap. They got repurposed into Term 28, though, so all's well that ends well. But no, that bolt action one last year, I've never gone from enthusiastic to bored brainless so quickly. I really, really just lost interest overnight. The 2 Bren carriers I want to use because I spent hours on those and I love them. They're really good. But they're actually just painting the rank and file troops.
You could say what you just said there is exactly how I felt about Star Wars. The last Star Wars set of films come out, but so excited they've just gone to brainless in seconds.
Yeah, I don't know what I think it was. What it was. There were essentially 3 colors: flesh, khaki, and green, and nothing changed. I was just bored, and I sitting down, and I just in the end I've had to put them all away in a box, and they're actually sat in the living room. Yes.
See, I've got some things that they're things that I bought for. So I've got like some Malifaux stuff from the first edition when it used to be like fun, and it was new and it was quite exciting. And I bought quite a lot of expansions for it, and they're still sitting in boxes. So I don't know if there's any money in the old in the original metal Malifaux models. So they're sitting around, and I just lost my sort of drive for doing them when they updated the rules, and I know you can always play old rules, but you want to still have your game supported and have new things out for it, and they make some nice new models. You want to be able to use them if you don't have the old rules, so they're sitting in boxes. God, this is really making me question myself.
I only ever bought one box of Malifaux, and yeah, I didn't paint them. I primed them, and I thought, because it took me long enough to put them together. And I think that killed it for me, was to actually putting them together. I didn't want to paint them after that. I just put them away. In fact, I couldn't tell you where they are. I think they might be smashed to buggery in one of my bits boxes.
They would make nice turnip models. They've got some. You could really turnip some characters out of those.
Well, these ones were the most PC way of putting this. They were undead ladies of the night.
Oh yes, yes. No, we know
where you're going with that one.
Well, what I thought I would do is, because we had some posts about
Peter's list. This is his 16 projects.
What the hell,
6 mil Romans, 15 mil British Napoleonics, 28 mil Russians, 6 mil Württembergs, 6 mil Danish, 28 mils Celts. Yeah, if they're the warlords ones, they're horrible. 6 mil Samurai. Yay! There we go. 15 mil British Desert World War II Desert Army. He don't go on. Yeah, I think you do actually. That's impressive. That is impressive. That is very.
That's. Oh dear. Well, thank you, Peter, for your question. Now, I feel a little bit sad. Thank you at the same time for that. I now feel about. Oh, Carthage. That would be cool. That would be cool. Maybe in the next one, maybe CrackCon 2023. Although I was like, oh, what could the big game? And I was thinking maybe Marsden Moor. But it's parts projects, a pole opportunity, but I've never started Perry 100-day Brits, Perry Foundry Vikings, Foundry Macedonians, 20 mil Russians, and mainly Skytrex. There are so many projects.
There are, but yes, yeah. I don't know. There are lots. I mean, I have got plenty that I haven't started. That's for sure. But I think I will do. Unless World War happens or I finish up, being carried out of here on a plane.
You'll be carried out in like a dropper bottle, mate. That's how we're going to go. I'm going to be. Steve's going to get ground up and used as weathering pigment on something. That's how it's like that.
If it keeps licking his flipping paintbrush, he'll probably be gone sooner than later.
That can go on your t-shirt. Grind me up and use me as pigment. Simon Boyles. Simon.
I love that from Alex. Very good.
I wasn't sure as much about this though. I just want to give a little shout out to the people who commented on the Facebook feed for tonight's topic. So Simon Boyle said his great wargaming memory is finally getting the confidence to paint and then base a full project and not get bored in the middle, and finally get rid of his fear of finishing his 1/35th diorama. Tony Hinton West said his was teaching his son Charlie to play battle companies and watch his Easterlings grow in strength under his control in a 6-game mini campaign 2 years ago when he was 9 years old. Did he crush you? That's the question. Steve has said for him it was refighting the Battle of. Now I've got some of these photos. It was refighting the Battle of Waterloo at his club a few years ago. They did it at 1/72. They had thousands of miniatures. They played over the whole day in 7 turns using black powder, and he sent me a couple of pictures of it. So there's how cool is that? And then, as always, if you're doing Waterloo, you've got to get the shot around the farmhouse. How cool is that? How cool is that? Lovely stuff.
Just look at the amount of painted French on there. It's giving me hot chest pains.
That's awesome, isn't it? Dave Carton said his was being confident enough to put his stuff out on YouTube platform and talk about it. And it is a big thing. When you put your stuff up there, we talked about this with Alex last week. It is, you put your stuff up there, you are opening yourself up to critique, but the community generally is overwhelmingly positive. I find. Maybe I just get rid of those other comments. I don't know.
There are certain Facebook pages you don't want to go to, but on the whole, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yes. Richard David Cunningham put up a post, and he put up a post with a photo which said his greatest hobby moment occurred on Friday. Being a very slow painter and with not much time in his hands and the war game Butterfly to boot, he'd never actually painted a full army before. That is until Friday when he put the last lick of paint on a small platoon for the Very British Civil War at a size suitable for bolt action or Very British Civil War specific rules. The army is far from finished, but I feel very proud to have a road legal force for the first time, and that is a very cool little force.
Yes,
I really like that. I mean, that's just awesome looking.
Just brilliant. There's no greater feeling than when you paint that last figure, you base that last figure, and you're done. That's achievement. Unless it's me painting my Perry's French infantry.
But then is the project ever finished? Really?
My French were.
Well, yeah, sort of. In a manner of speaking. Lee Gardner said probably 2 in the same team tournament at a Fantasy 6 edition. His giant eating a darling elf assassin. Is that meant to be daring or a darling elf assassin?
Darling.
Daring. Darling. The darling elf assassin and deposing the Orc team captain before the last round. Do you know what? One of my favourite memories actually is, and I think I've talked about it before, I had the Dark Elves and everyone loved, you got to write down the unit that your assassin is hiding in. And my mate Kev attacked me with, I think his name was Grimgore. He was like the nastiest black orc, a big guy, massive axe. And my assassin was in that unit, and he attacked and he killed him. This special character, just like one hit, got killing blow and killed him. And it's the only time he ever said to me, in all the games of Warhammer that we played, can I just check where you wrote down he was in that unit? The only time. But that stuck with me. And is like a little proud moment. It was probably about the last time I won a game against him. So, but that was quite a while ago. Andy, I had to put this one up. Andy said, when the Friends of General Haig put on a demo game of Lurtzen at Salute 2019, the Battle of Lurtzen, it was a bit like herding cats, getting it all sorted, but we had a fab day, met loads and loads of other people, and had some awesome hobby time and played the game a little bit. So that kind of echoes what you said, Dom, about getting the game on. And
sometimes it's like the Salute game I put on with my buddies. We spent ages working out how we'd do it and how we'd run it and how just be a demo game, and we'd talk about it. We had leaflets to hand out and blah blah blah. Within half an hour of running the show and everyone coming in, we had everyone else playing the game. We would it just became a complete just great fun. Just to all the rules went out the window. It's just like everyone moving figures around, talking to them about the battles, the series. That was just great. Really enjoyed it. If I had the time again, I'd do that again.
Maybe we should do a PCP table at Salute. Who would come to that if we did a Plastic Crack podcast game at Salute?
Oh, now you've started something. Oh,
yeah, but here's the question: would we actually go with something that we've all done, or would we just let Steve turnip everything at Salute? On that, I will let you think. Should we do that?
No.
Should we do a table? PCP table?
What it should be in the chat.
And we'll have a thing. Andy Shaw said he just finished painting some British paras. Never thought he'd have the skill to do the camouflage. Wanted some paras since he was a kid. He had the Airfix 30-second ones. And I believe he sent me a photo. So there they are.
Oh yeah, these are. Look at them.
Excellent job.
Oh,
very cool. And I love that they're on 2Ps. I do you know what? I found the other day a whole tub of 2Ps and 5Ps that I kept for basing that I've never used. So I was going to give it to the kids and say, here you go, you can take that down to the money counting thing. Or should I keep it? I don't know.
Yeah, keep it. Keep it.
You can put it towards
inflation.
Energy costs, I'll give it to my mate when I start using his 3D printer and go, here's your energy costs. Andy Oval says he remembers playing an opponent at a bolt action.
I don't think so, Mark.
One day he's been bigger than Salute. Oh dear.
Geez, sorry, mate.
Yeah. It could be quite. That'd be quite. Mac, if you're watching, we sorry.
We're not really. No, not really.
But if we could have a table, that would be ace. I remember playing an opponent. This is Andy. I remember playing an opponent at a bolt action event where I couldn't stop rolling sixes. Good for you. My opponent was really good about it. Even when my first roll of the game had my inexperienced medium mortar kill his 88's crew, and worse, my dice got hotter from there. I distinctly remember cheering when he finally got some hits on me because, of course, all his rolls had turned into turds. At the end, I'd maxed out all the victory points and wiped him off the board in 4 turns. I was really embarrassed by how good my dice rolling. How can you be embarrassed? As if I had loaded dice. I should have given up playing bolt action then and there because I had the perfect game. In the end, I felt so bad I gave him a dice tray as he was such a good sport about the whole thing. Can you play me, please? You give people you beat stuff. Mate, we need a game because I'd love to. If
everyone come away with loads of stuff.
I'd have everything. I'd have loads of stuff. I'm going to try and get Haley to be every time you beat me. Can I have something? I'll have loads. And then finally, Luke Driscoll is one of my mates. He's posted his favorite. Cheeky shit. My favorite one of all of them is that in a certain character in Dead Man's Hand falls spectacularly off a bit of a roof building. Again, he is referring to my Mexican. He's meant to be a sharpshooter. He's got a Winchester. He's got a repeater, and I always put him up high. And he cannot hit anything in any game. You watch those battle reports, he can't. But as you'll know, because I'm putting near a building, every time you get shot in that, if you're near the edge of a building, you roll to see if you fall off. Every single time into the trough. Every time, without fail. He has never put anyone out of action. He has never scored any kind of objective points or anything. And now I feel bad, and I take him just for that one moment that one day he might do something.
He might,
and that's what he's talking about. But he finds it when we play this game, he does text me, and he does put it in saying, "If you're bringing him, you can use him." So he's the only guy with a repeater I've got. Actually, he's not now because I've got those Great Escape game ones. But anyway, thank you very, very much to everyone who's contributed and sent that in. That I think that's been a really nice topic. So thank you very, very much. Oh, well, bloody hell, it's 9:25 already. So what I think we should do is we should do some news, don't you think, chaps? All right, Kim.
We've got to get him to do something, haven't we?
I did think about it today, and then I think I had a cup of tea, so
yeah,
that never got.
More productive.
But yes. So why don't you kick things off, Dom? I know you've got.
Hang on,
it's been quite a busy week, and hopefully some good news and some not so
good news. So I think most people have seen the not so good news about Foreground shutting down, which is a real shame. I know people made comments about some issues around some of the things. We won't go into that here, but they are shutting down, which is a shame. It is a shame.
Quite shocking as well, because they are. I know, obviously, because certainly for the coloured MDF, they are the flagship company for that.
Very much so.
There are so many companies who sell their products like Great Escape Games for Dead Man's Hand. That whole range is for them. So are they now going to look to like Sarisa? What are they going to do? I was thinking about, but not obviously the effects, the things that have caused this, which they put in their statement, are going to affect a lot of other companies. So I agree with what a lot of people said. That I hope it isn't, but I highly doubt it's going to be the last that we see.
It's kind of it's sort of ironic, but sadly ironic, isn't it? Everyone was saying, the COVID thing would be the end of a lot of companies, a lot of wargaming companies, and actually they many seem to have a bit of a boom. But now the energy prices, the cost of living changes, and everything else may well do it instead. Very sad indeed. But sadly I agree. I don't think they'll be the last.
No. So no, just remember, because I had a bit of a I wouldn't really call it a spat. I was discussing the cost, the Perry price rise. Someone, and there was like one really angry individual about it, and I just said, really? But they're making models that you want and you support, and you're complaining about their postage costs, but that's still time that they have to pack and post the thing, and you're going to get your models, and if you don't support them, you're just not going to have those models anymore. Like what's
and actually they're tremendously good value anyway. But apart from that, people get very emotive about rise in costs and everything else, and I get that. I mean, people have a certain amount of money, but remember the costs are going up as well. It's a tough world out there for many people. Anyway, other better news, I guess. Definitely is. First Corps have started a Mexican-American wars force for sharp practice, if anybody's up for doing that. Now, I have a sneaking feeling those figures painted there might be our friend Sean's. They might be Sean's. Be interesting if he... I know he doesn't watch always live. He watches on the replay, but tell us, Sean. It looks like he's styly. VMV have, even though they are in Ukraine, they are still in business, and they are launched a new pack of Roman Command pack the Punic War, I think that is.
They have.
Which I think
bugger.
Yeah, sorry, you're going to have to start now. So you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it, mate.
They are nice.
These are more of the Empress range, who I'm rapidly falling in love with all their figures. These are upcoming Indian Mutiny figures, part of their range. Really, really nice looking figures. And a Kickstarter, which I have no idea what it's about, other than the fact it says there.
So this is by Footsore. This is by the people who Baron's War and Gangs of Rome. It's by Andy Hobday and John Wigley and a couple of others. And this is basically, the way I look at it, it's using like Eastern and Central European fantasy. So think like the monsters that are in The Witcher. Think that kind of, basically think The Witcher. And it's a war game centered, that kind of Baron's War level stuff. I think it's going to have like a mini campaign in it. It's got some interesting mechanics, but it's taking the mechanics they've developed in their historical systems and putting it over into a fantasy setting. So that's live now. Andy should hopefully be coming on the stream in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm sure he'll be explaining about that. And of course, they've got the Outreamer, the Crusade Kickstarter for Baron's War
coming along rapidly
as well. So yes, that's something to look at. I have looked at it, but I haven't looked at it in great detail yet, that Kickstarter, because I'm scared of backing.
The other one, I'm purely, bear with me because this is more domestic for me, but if anybody's interested, my wargaming club, or mine and Ken's wargaming club now, and he's a bloody member now. Jesus, he's actually a member. Wargames, Farnborough Wargaming Society.
As a member before.
Oh Jesus! It's they're holding their usual show, Valhalla, and it's actually now going to happen on Saturday, June the 18th, which is the day before Father's Day, at that venue there, which is the regular venue for the club night. St. Peter's Church Hall in Farnborough. So details will follow, but basically mark it in your calendar, because I believe in the south of England that is pretty much the only wargaming show up until about November time. So if you want to go and get your crack and what have you, that's probably a good place to go. So details to follow. But and also, if any, a shout out, because they'll give me a hard time otherwise, if anybody wants to come along to play games, we meet on a Friday night at that same venue. So there you go.
And that means you can play games with Ken.
Yeah, somebody can keep Ken busy, and I don't have to bloody deal with him all night. So.
Okay. Well, I've got a few things actually. So I know we have some Mantic fans in here, and Mantic have released a new 2-player starter set for their sci-fi game called Firefight, and they've released also like army packs, and if you want to do some kind of sci-fi game, but you don't want to do 40k, this starter set here I believe is about 100 quid, and you get your 2 armies and all your tokens in your rule books and your forces lists and all of that good jazz. So if you're looking for sci-fi, you're looking for something a little bit different, then there you go. Something I'm excited about, not Gripping Beast, Fireforge have released their Turcopoles. So they are now available from the web store, fully plastic. You can make them up as horse archers. Now Turcopoles are literally sons and people of Turkish descent, but across like Eastern European and Near Eastern territory. So they were allied with the Crusaders. So sort of like Armenian, that kind of area. I was about to say the Constantinopolins. That's not the right word. What am I talking about? The Byzantines. What's wrong with me? The Constantinoples. The Byzantines.
Like you're about to sing there, mate.
Istanbul used to be Constantinople. Yeah, I go, and there you go. Look, nice. What you like to see, they do what they sent in. Some Turcopoles, you can make them up with spears as well. Very kit bashable, apparently. And I even saw someone on here basically saying how they were going to use them for the Greek War of Independence, that ranged at Carstocks, was it 18 so I show my complete ignorance here. 1860s, I want to say.
I want to say you're right, but I'm ignorant.
But you're not going to.
I'm going to leave you hanging there because I'm not sure either.
Thanks. But yeah, so I will be getting some of these definitely, so I can have some Turkopole scouts in there. So if you've got a Crusaders force, but you want some light cavalry, that's your way. They use them a lot as scouts and also as a second wave of attack. And then the last one popped up today from good old GW, but this is for the Lord of the Rings, especially people who are into the Easterlings, who never got much love and also aren't hugely expanded upon in Tolkien's, the Lord of the Rings anyway. So GW have created, now I'm going to forget what this thing is called. I think it's the Dragon Lord of Rune. And it's some guy being carried along on his palanquin. Palanquin? Is that what that's called? It's some guy being carried by some other guys. Now, I cannot tell you a guide price for this. I'll let your imagination do that for you. But I think it's quite cool. I like it because it's completely different to anything else in there. I know some people are quite upset about it, but I think it's quite a cool model. It's nice to see something a bit different. But you get that main guy, the Dragon King, in the middle on that thing. You get him on foot as well. So if he comes off of there, or if he chooses to dismount, then you get him to run around. But it's quite an interesting model. So
can I just say, at CrackCon 4, that's how I'll be showing up.
And who will be carrying you? This is what worries me.
I'll hold a raffle.
Hold the prize of the raffle. Someone gets to carry Steve on a beer back to the.
Can all the people carrying you be dressed up in turnip outfits and sort of moaning as they carry you? That would be fantastic. Yes. I'd pay money for that.
This gets better.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's just getting crazy. Well, I think it's probably about time that we had a look. It's a bit earlier than normal, but let's have a look at some of the bits and bobs that have been going up on the Facebook. Steve is a generous god. Is he a merciful one though? That's the question.
I am I'm very merciful unless it's a well-known delivery company. Then I'm not very merciful at all.
Would you turnip that GW model?
Yeah, the only models I wouldn't turn up are those Caballero ones. I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't bring myself to.
Martin and I would come around and stab you in the night with scalpels because no, you can't do that.
No, I couldn't. Having seen them and having seen the way Martin's painted them up, could not.
Don't please, sir. Don't do that.
I couldn't. The thought of taking an X-Acto blade and some green stuff and some tufts. No, I couldn't do it.
No, I'll buy you that GW model to not do it to the Caballero ones. Patriot Wargaming Solution says, yeah, it is very Xerxes from 300.
Very much so,
just mine is like the naked goat-headed thing. But yeah, Forenza General Haig has said he still hasn't seen any turnip cosplayers. That's not true. He's in Wurzel Gummidge. He's the king. He's the king of the turnips, dude. He is the god of that world. He is the god. I mean, we're going to come on to some turnip stuff, but I know there's one person in the group in particular who Steve has infected his turnip.
Oh yes.
So let's have a look at it, and we're going to start with a young man called Alex who's been doing some painting. He's been working on some of his buildings, and Alex was on the stream last week, and he was obviously talking about these buildings. I've got a picture, and they are cool. And I know he's had the back gardens delivered now.
Yes.
As well. That is such a nice. These are printed, aren't they?
They are 3D prints.
Printed 15 mil scale as well.
I love the render.
Insanity.
It's brilliant.
They are lovely, lovely things. I'm going to say it, but the brickwork sounds like the brickwork is lovely, Alex. That's awesome. That would drive me nuts. I think I would actually put some render over the brickwork so I didn't have to paint it. I'd actually fill the hole in.
That is brilliant.
Alex, Alex Bates. Now, this is his first post in the group. and he's only just joined the group, and he's painting something a bit out of his scale. But here is this. I mean, how cool is that? That is nifty.
That is
brilliant.
That is chuffing ace. It really is.
That is. I really want to put one of my little 6mm ones next to it. So again, like a god. It's like sending the horrible little 6mm miniatures away. Oh man, I mean they are going now. That's a perfect. Well done, Dom. I'm pleased with that. I'm going to get. Well, I was about to say I'm going to get some shelf space back, but it's not like they take up very much.
You're going to say that's the problem. They don't take up anything, do they?
I know. But no, that is lovely. Now also I should just say I know that some of you have posted up some of the awesome busts of people who are taking part in the online painting challenge. If you don't know what that is, or if you're interested, then pop over, check for Warren's post. But they're basically doing Berlin or bust. I deliberately haven't put them up because we'll save it up for when we showcase your stuff at the end of the month. So they are all looking awesome, especially the Crusader one. Quiet, Robin. Quiet, you. You need to go and paint some Suffolk forces up, Robin. That's what you told me you were going to be doing. You need to go work on some Wars of the Roses stuff. Brendan has been painting stuff up for Silver Bayonet, and he's gone with the Retreat from Moscow. A really good setting for that. Very eerie, and they look very, very cold. That's what I'm going to be like tomorrow on site.
They're great. Really nice.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Chris has done a Blood Bowl team.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. And I love the colours. I really like that blue. Really do like the blue. It contrasts really nicely with the red. That is very cool. Steve, how's your Orc Blood Bowl team coming, mate?
Moving on.
Now the next one I'm putting up, and this makes me so happy, because I'm glad it's not just me. So Drew had a game, a cracking looking game, very nice. He's also posted up some pictures during the week of his British drummer. I don't know if you saw that, Steve, for his command base with his British drummer. I didn't know if that made you inspired you in any way to do.
No. I mean, it looked very, very nice. It just doesn't beat my drum.
Doesn't beat my drum. But I have it on reliable. Well, I say we have it on reliable authority. Drew said that he deliberately, so he just switched sides and he was the British, hoping that it was just the fact that he was the French that meant he lost. Yeah, it wasn't. It's just him. He says it's bad. It hurts, doesn't it, mate? It hurts.
I want to see the two of you have a battle, because it'll just like
actually, no, we'll all just fail. Do you know what happened? It'll be the shortest one in history. We'll all blunder and they'll all leave. They'll just walk off. They're going to leave in the first turn, like his 95th. That's it.
As I said that, I thought in my mind, actually, no, it'd be really shit, because you won't hit a thing, and every morale check you'll run off the table. It'd just be really boring.
It will be. You know, it'll be like the exact. You know what it will look like is at the end of Zulu, when they all turn up on the hill and they do the salute, but it won't be. It'll just be them turning up, and then all you'll see is just everyone turn around and just very slowly disappear,
slink away.
I mean, the thing is, we need a board behind it. It's going to be one of those things. They just spend less time out of the box than they do in it. Right.
They wouldn't work in that match. You'd get them stuck. They wouldn't roll. No.
Felix, who I know is he's coming to CrackCon, and I think he might be bringing these along. But he's done some Marines of the Guard. Very, very nice.
Tell you what, Felix is flying through his naps, isn't he? I mean, he puts me to absolute shame.
He puts me to shame, the amount he sticks out. Jeez.
I know it's he's doing. I mean, was it the other week? Didn't he just post up like loads of Italians?
He did that whole load of Borodino troops, was what he was doing first of all, wasn't it? All the Russians, then he did French, and I think you're right, Italians. And
so they've got I believe there is. Well, I say I believe. I know. Well, I better be, because it's on the booking form, and if it's on the booking form, it's happening. There's the Black Powder game, and I believe it's a slight rematch between the people who can make it from the Black Powder game last year, except for a couple who I think are in the Wars of the Roses game. So keep your eye open for them. But yeah, Felix will be taking part in that. So you're going to have, hopefully, I assume we're going to see a whole squad of Marines then. Next up, now, John does not make not barring these Norman Knights easy. John, has put that up now. I mean, I think am I wrong? Does he paint these 4? I mean, they're amazing. It just looks awesome. But I know that Victrix have shared this, and if you're going to use a model to showcase your product, then that's the one.
Yeah,
that is the one to do it. Fantastic stuff.
Beautiful,
lovely.
Paint.
Very, very cool. I mean, I am getting, well, that set is on its way. Miller had messaged me saying, "Have you caved yet?" And I said no, and then I caved about half an hour before the stream. Because I only caved once I saw all the new pennants that Little Big Men have made. So what I think is I'm going to use, well, this was also before the Turkopals. I was like, I'll use the Victrix ones as my heavy cavalry, the Conquest ones as the light cavalry, and now the Turkopals have got released, and I don't know what to do. So, but lovely stuff there. Joshua, more Napoleonics.
Oh, he does
very cool,
lovely stuff, doesn't he?
They just so. Do you know what? And I don't mean this in an insulting way, but I love the ragtag.
I was just about to say exactly the same thing. Yeah,
I don't mean that. I mean they look fantastic. It's that whole, they look like they've seen some shit. Basically, yeah. I love that look. Very, very cool. There's no. Is there a drummer? I was about to say, could see.
I can't see one actually.
But they are.
Oh no! Take it off the screen. There's no drummer.
I think they just left him behind for being a drummer.
So he was the first to go. Well, so leave no man behind unless he is the
drummer.
And next up we have Carl, who's the person that Steve is infected with turnipness.
Hang on,
these are so freaking good.
I mean, that is just so cool. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't even think Carl knows what it is.
No, I think he's transcended turnip at the moment. He's in the turnip sphere.
So I meant to ask him this, and I completely forgot. How's he made that? What is it? How has he done it? Is he designed it? Is it kit bashed?
It's a cart, isn't it? Is it? Yeah. It's some sort of like carriage.
It's like the face mask. Is that kit bashed? Is he?
It could be green stuff.
I mean, if that's green stuff, then I mean that's awesome. I mean, you can't. He's put. Have a look at Carl's stuff. He's also got a YouTube channel as well called Blood Salt, and he's just popped a very eerie video showcasing these up. But I would love
a brilliant video. I have to say, that was a brilliant video.
Yeah, Carl, if you watch this, mate, are you available for video editing?
Yeah, can you edit mine, please? I need some serious work on mine.
But yeah, they are fantastic. But and there he is. Look, there's the drummer.
See, I approve of that one.
It's just so cool. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's just like it's just so cool. I mean, I could see that in a film, like in some kind of like dark fantasy. What the hell is going on? Or a very Dark Soulsy. Is Kit Bash?
I think that would be imagine if David Lynch and David Cronenberg sat down for a bit of kit bashing. I think that's
that is very cool. But then he's completely embraced.
God, yeah. Fair play to him, yeah.
But very, very, very cool. So next up, this is a picture from Lee's wargaming room, I believe, or where he wargames. And now the thing was, he put up some really nice pictures of like the table and the hobby bit, but I thought this was the best one. I approve, sir. I approve. That's fantastic. Lovely stuff. Apart from, is that a bottle of Malibu?
I was going to say the bottle of Malibu.
There is a Malibu.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that. No, get rid of the Malibu and get one of those lovely looking cognacs or whiskies from. That's fantastic. But what? See, Ken would love this, but apart from instead of the Malibu, it'd be all W. All of that would be blue WKD.
Jesus.
I mean, that's fan. Have you got a beer pump in there yet, Dom, or have you just got a?
I've just got the fridge with the beers in it. That's fine. I wouldn't want to go too far up,
It's very, very nice. Very, very nice. Hang on.
Brilliant.
So I'm just writing a comment back to young Miller.
Oh,
as now we know he is young.
He is young.
Sorry, mate. Oh no, but yeah, and Tony, he put these up. Classic, lovely figures.
Nice.
I really like this. Now I forgot. Is he using these for? Is he using them for Blind Rampant or for a particular Kings of War? Or is it? I mean, to be fair, they're so versatile, but they are lovely, very bold. I like the colours.
Really nice.
Next up, Stephen has done some wolves for the silver bayonet, and I love these. I really
awesome!
like those.
Oh, they are
really, really cool.
What models
really,
are they?
I was about to say are they printed, but then they're not wargs, are they? No, they're not wargs.
No, they don't look like wargs. Because I bought some because I do plan to play some Silver Bayonet, and I thought I'd play it on my own. I know one of the early scenarios in it is a wolf attack on the group, and I bought some wolves from I don't even know where I got them from. North Star, I think I got them, and they arrived, and they were more scary things at Crufts this week than these models, and they're supposed to be frigging wolves. And it's like, but those look scary. I like them. They look really good.
Very cool. Yeah, Steve, let us know where they're from. Dom needs to know where they're from.
I need to know where they are because they're replacing the ones I've got.
They're 40k. Wolves of 40k Wolves of Fenris.
I can't buy 40k. Sorry.
Just go on. What's it called? Troll Trader. Troll Trader will probably have them on there, and they'll be second. They'll be second in gold. Buy some 40k and surprise Ken. Ken's not going to watch the stream. Ken's not going to watch this, so it'll really surprise him.
Dom, I've got visions of your war band now being attacked by a group of sweep from Sooty.
Speaking of 40k and wolves, Paul McKay has put up some classic Space Wolves. He said, did he say that he'd had these kicking around for 20 years or something?
Yeah. Do you know why I approve of them?
Because they're not blue.
Exactly. They're not blue.
You really don't like that blue, do you?
I don't.
Basically, there's two things in this world that get Steve angry: DPD or
no, it wasn't DPD.
It's Hermes.
It was
and
Hermes.
Blue Space Wolves.
Blue Space Wolves.
They are very cool. Nice one, Paul. They look awesome. Now the next one I put up, which is probably going to be the most. The models aren't boring, and I think you're painting really well. But Warren has painted some wolves. And I really like the wolves. I think
they are good.
I think they look really cool. They say Warren's done some wolves. Very, very cool. No, they look wicked, dude. I think are these printed as well? I think they are.
I think they are.
They're very cool. I like them because they've actually got a bit of I was about to say girth, but I don't want to.
But you wouldn't say that.
But no, there's a bit of heft to them, so they are very,
I'm not sure that's any better.
You know what? They look like them dry stone walls you see in the Lake District. They're very, very, very similar.
Yeah, no, they are very, very cool. And I'm going to put it up just because he wants to make us all feel bad. Sean has done his Clive of India. How nice, how lovely is that? Fantastic stuff as always. He left a comment on my ECW game against Miller going on about how good my dice rolling was, and he'd roll his hand, and then I lost. He just really Sean's got a way of pointing out the obvious. It really makes you feel shit. Is that what he did to you in that game?
Oh yeah, completely. It just constantly just tells you what you're doing wrong.
Haley,
I was umpiring as well, so it wasn't even me doing it.
Haley did ask me when she's sorting out the raffle if she could be if the table could be near where you are, if Sean's going to be with you again, because she said it was it was one of the funniest things she's ever listened to. was that Paul? We did some ACW. ACW, very, very cool. I'll tell you how much I love the bases for the artillery.
Very nice.
Well, yeah, really good.
Really, really nice stuff. Very, very cool. How is is anyone else? Because I've seen quite a few pictures of these going up. I mean, I know the sort of the epic naps are the sort of like, you know, very much the flavour at the minute. But it's really, because it's now been about a year since this came out, so it's really nice to see the people who got into this and are now finishing their boxes and their armies and having some games. But I haven't seen many battle reports or anything going up yet. So if you are having games of this, don't saying you have to make a battle report, but send up some photos of the games, because it always looks fantastic to see. And then Miller, because he's not on Facebook because he's awkward, has sent me this picture because he's been doing some Drop Fleet Commander.
Oh,
so he sent these in, and these are for the PHR, which stands for the Post-Human Republic. They're basically like superhuman android cyborgy people, and these are their battleships, and I really like those. Though they do remind me of the head of the Alien a bit.
They do. Are they Roundheads or Cavaliers? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, they're very alien looking, aren't they? Very xenomorph.
They are very, very nice. But as always, thank you so much to everybody who sends in pictures. You know, we can't show them all. We do go through them, and we had to make some choices. But no, thank you very, very much. Otherwise, we'd just be doing an entire showcase video. Maybe we should just do that one day. Here's a showcase.
Maybe just one day. Yeah.
Just put a slideshow on it. Just wouldn't be us. It'd be a slideshow. I did think about it's like one day we're gonna have to do a clip show. Like how when sitcoms and TV series always do that, you know, when they're trying to flesh out, like, because they've got an episode count.
Oh yeah.
But that does mean rewatching all of them and finding that one moment, you know. So if anyone has any of the clips of this and someone wants to do that, then do send it to us. But guys, yeah, thank you the only one we've got is the Ultramarine one. That's the only one we've got. But guys, thank you so much for sending those in. Remember, come join the Facebook group and like the page. Remember to like this video as well if you can. It helps a lot. And check out our channels, and we will basically just keep going. And of course, remember CrackCon tickets. I don't know if any have gone yet, but can you those structures the perfect place medieval. Oh dear. I'll let Alex in the chat describe. Oh dear, he's not here. He's not even here. Do we have to bring it up? We have to bring it up. He's gone. He is gone. Although I did speak to you during the week, didn't I, Dom? And I was on site at the time, and I was digging up a load of horrible post-medieval rubbish.
You were.
Yeah. Well, I was digging up a potato farm. It was very smelly. Since I found out that they put mint oil on potatoes to stop them sprouting, and so that my car smelled just like chewing gum, which you think would be nice, but after like 3 days, it's like living in a tube of toothpaste. So it's absolutely great. But no, guys, thank you very much for sending those in. Next week we are with. It's usually Ken, I think. No, it's Steve. We'll be with Steve.
It'll be Steve next week. Yeah.
It should be Steve. We'll be with Steve over on Point HQ. Remember that if you would, I'll pop the thing up again. Here we go. Just for that. Remember, if you would like any of the dice or the dice trays, these will obviously also, I should say, these will all be picked up at CrackCon. Yes. So if you're interested in these, but you're not going to CrackCon, just hold your horses for a moment. We'll get this out of the way, and then we'll see how it goes. But it may be that we do have a few products for the Plastic Crack podcast. There's a couple of things that we've had to think about. And remember as well that you can still get your t-shirts, and I'm going to put the picture up of him again, as modeled. Lovely by Matt. And we should probably just finish tonight by saying, what have you guys actually worked on tonight? What have you done?
I've just finished. Literally, I could go paint the rims and the bases. The last 5 of my Kit Bash Volksturm.
Very cool. Very cool. Stable. Is that Tabletop Workshop?
And you know, I literally in the first 5 minutes I did the first one. I thought that's going to be really easy, and I did the second one really quickly. And then I started on the ramshackle thing. It's sort of spread all over my desk, stuck to bits that it shouldn't be stuck to, so it didn't go quite as well. So yeah, I did 2 buildings though.
I love those. Those Tabletop Workshop models are lovely. They go together, so they just.
It's so easy. I mean, why aren't models like this? It's like
and all the interior details.
It's got the inside bit. I mean,
have you Did you get the chapel? Have you got the chapel?
No, I wish I had. No,
I was going to say, if you get the chapel, because you can see how they slot together on the sides, leave one wall off so you can slot it on. Because otherwise, it's got really nice interior details, like it's got candles and things, but otherwise you can't actually get to them. So if you leave one off, you can actually get your models inside it and for a little bit of a side view, which is quite nice. But all I did was I painted the tracks on a Grant. And I've got to go and find out what the colours are for British tank commanders because I have one coming out.
Martin, for the love of all that's unholy, make sure they're accurate.
Yeah, you'll be allowed back on if you do.
I'm going to go and I'm going to go with their brown. I'm going to assume they're brown, so I'm going to paint it orange, just to boiler suit orange. And I've just finished some Wars of the Roses infantry, and I've stuck a banner on one. And you know what the really annoying thing is? I know that this banner. No, but it's wrong. I know this banner is wrong. I know the livery is wrong. I mean, the livery is kind of right, but so the livery I've had to paint on the chap is different to the livery that's on the banner. As in, it's in the wrong order. So that's going to irritate the shit out of me, but I'm not good enough to paint up my own or design my own. So we'll just say he bought the wrong flag with him.
Yeah. They were selling the wrong ones down at the shop.
There we were. Right, everyone. Thank you very, very much for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed your time. As always, we will be with you next Monday at 8:00. Remember, last few CrackCon tickets, and come and join the Facebook group. Otherwise, we will see you all next Monday at 8:00 over on Point HQ. Take care, and we'll see you all later.
Stay safe, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.